What's up, y'all? It's your boy Russ, back again with another video, and today we're going to be taking a closer look and comparing the careers of Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi Vert. Two guys with cult-like followings who some would say, kind of share the same fan base. But is that actually true? And if it is, which one is the better artist? For these two guys, it'll be based off 4 categories: hit songs, social media numbers, anticipation, and leaks. And you guys will ultimately decide who the winner is. I know this is subjective, so I'll leave the final decision up to y'all. Let's start with social media following. Lil Uzi Vert has 12.3 million followers on Instagram, 6.7 on Twitter, and his YouTube 6.82. SoundCloud as well, he has 2.3 million, and Spotify, he comes in at 23 million monthly listeners. That is crazy. These are great numbers, and overall, if we add all that up, I think that's about 51 or 50 million followers slash listeners for Lil Uzi Vert. Let's see what Carti's working with. So Carti, his Instagram, he sits at 4.9 million followers on Instagram. His Twitter, he comes in at another 1.4. His YouTube, 1.13, SoundCloud, 800,000, and Spotify, 9 million monthly listeners. And you can see there's a big gap, but obviously these are all crazy numbers, like these are in the millions. But just for comparison's sake, Uzi's total number comes out to be 51 million in total on all social medias, and I really think that YouTube and Instagram are the most important for music artists. So those two alone kind of are more than Carti's total, which is 18. Uzi's dealing with 51 million followers in total. Playboi Carti has 18 million followers in total. So that's about a 33 million follower listener difference. So for this round, just purely based off numbers, I'm gonna have to give it to Lil Uzi Vert because he does come in with crazy numbers. Those Spotify numbers alone, 23 million, that's more than Carti on any of these. So first round following, Lil Uzi Vert is the winner. Next up, we got anticipation. So as you know, these two guys are probably the king of being anticipated. Before we got Eternal Atake a couple months ago, we had been waiting for that for about a year. He initially announced Eternal Atake back in July of 2019, and it didn't come until March of 2020. With this whole lot of red, Carti announced this in 2018, like in August, and it's yet to be released. Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti, who is the most anticipated? Some could easily go and give it to Lil Uzi because of the fact that in hindsight he did so well when he released. I might have to give it a tie because Carti has not released yet and we've been waiting for 2 years. Uzi made us wait a year, but he has dropped and we've seen how his album has done. So I think we can't just automatically give it to Uzi because we already have seen what his album was able to do, and I feel like that would be unfair because you never know what Carti could, what Carti could come out the gate with. He could come out the gate with gas just like Lil Uzi Vert did. So for anticipation, I'm gonna give this a tie. I feel like at their height before Uzi dropped, I feel like they were both highly anticipated. Some could say just purely based off the numbers that Uzi has, they would automatically say he's most anticipated. But I'm gonna give it a tie. I'm gonna leave it at an even playing field because I feel like these guys are both highly anticipated by their fans, and I don't want to just give it to Lil Uzi Vert just because he has more of a following, if you understand what I mean. So anticipation, I'm gonna give that a tie. Next category we got is leaks. Their fans are also known for leaking their stuff. Carti, there's a playlist I remember on Spotify, which it was called Splur 2900. One of my friends put me onto it, and this playlist had about 4 albums of like old and unreleased Carti songs that were just sitting up there for months. And once people started hearing about it, they started listening, the monthly listeners started going up, and then the label took it down. Carti's also had official Spotify playlists. He's had songs dropped officially on his Apple Music page that were leaks. Like, people love to leak Carti music. One song in particular, that Pissy Pamper, that Young Nudie song that came out, that song actually charted. It was charting, and this was an unreleased song. They're leaking his music, and his music is doing numbers. Like, his fans are taking the stance of, hey, if you're not going to give us the music, we're just going to come take it, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I would appreciate the music, and the music is great. Lil Uzi Vert is no stranger to leaks as well. He's confronted multiple leakers and hackers about leaking his music, saying that he doesn't appreciate it because it messes up relationships with people at the labels, people with radio stations, people that are involved in the production process, especially producers, songwriters, collaborators. It slows the process down. They both hate leakers and they're both highly plagued by leaks. But in this category, I'm gonna have to give it to Playboi Carti, just because of the pure volume of leaks that there are of Carti's music. There's multiple Reddit threads just filled with unreleased Playboi Carti music, old Playboi Carti music that you can't find anywhere. Uzi does have a lot of leaks as well, but I think Carti tops the list on here just because of the extent that people have gone to actually put his music out on Apple Music officially, and it's like not even like he had no say whatsoever. So for the leak category, I'm gonna give to Carti over Uzi. Hits. So let's take a look at these hits. Let's start with Lil Uzi Vert. We're gonna be talking about the Billboard 200 chart and the Billboard Hot 100 chart, and we're also gonna be looking at the artist Top 100 chart and also the Rolling Stone 500. The Rolling Stone 500 rates artists based on their weekly streaming numbers and then puts them in a list of 500. So let's take a look at Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert has had one #1 hit in his career, which was Bad and Bougie back in 2017. He's had 6 top 10 songs, and he's had 62 songs in total chart on the top 100. And ironically, Woke Up Like This with Playboi Carti peaked at 76 in 2017. On the top 100 chart, Eternal Take as an album peaked at #1 when he dropped it. Love Is Rage 2 peaked at #1 as well when he dropped that back in 2017. Lil Uzi has had 2 albums peak at #1 in his whole career on the Billboard 200 and Hot 100 charts, which is amazing. These stats are pretty impressive. Let's take a look at what Carti's working with. So Playboi Carti has had 0 #1 hits in his career. He's had 0 top 10 hits, but he has had 6 songs chart on the Billboard Top 100. His highest charting song was Magnolia, and it peaked at 29 in 2017. And this song, we all know, is a banger. It's a great song. Like I said before, ironically, another one of his songs to chart was Woke Up Like This. It peaked at number 76 in 2017. And to make matters even more, interesting, Shoulda peaked at 46 in 2018. And if you are a fan of Carti and Uzi, you would know that Woke Up Like This and Shoulda are both featuring Lil Uzi Vert with Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti's album Die Lit did peak at #3 on the Billboard 200 back in 2018. And on Billboard's Artist 100, Playboi Carti peaked at number 51 back in 2018, while Uzi peaked at #1 in 2020 when he released his last album. Just based off that, for Billboard hits, for hits in general, we're gonna have to give it to Lil Uzi Vert. Next category is a new to me, it's a new way to rank artists weekly on these streaming numbers. Let's take a look at this Rolling Stone 500 chart, which rates and ranks artists based on weekly streaming numbers. Lil Uzi Vert comes in at #2. Ranked over Drake. He comes in at 48.8 streams this week. It's great to see that after waiting all this time for his album, like, it's doing so well, and he's doing so well. Youngboy's down there at like 6 or 7 or something like that, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. He's dropping an album on Friday, so I'll be back at y'all with that review. But anyways, Playboi Carti comes in at #23 with 17 million streams this week. But based on the Rolling Stone 500 chart, Lil Uzi's the victor, man. We're gonna have to give it to Lil Uzi Vert. Uzi comes out on top. I want to get you guys' input. Who do you think is a better artist? As you know, right now, Uzi and Carti, they're kind of going back and forth doing their little beef thing on social media. Carti dropped a song, I think last week, called Me, and Uzi, reposted it. He's doing a lot of parody type stuff, trying to get the conversation going and really instigate. He said, "Did you drop yet?" He added Playboi Carti. He reposted his album cover. And to the fans, we're just stuck wondering, is this actual beef or is this some type of publicity stunt? Are they actually working together? They might even be a feature on the Carti album with Uzi. But as of right now, we're just left to speculate. So that's just making, the anticipation for the album even more. I feel like there's always been some type of comparison between the two artists, but this is just my way of, based on the numbers, breaking it down to see who is the victor. But tell me what y'all think, man. Get in the comments and let me know, Uzi or Carti, who would you listen to more? Who do you think's the better artist? Who do you think's more versatile? Who do you think has more hits? You know, let me know what you guys think. That's the end of the video, guys. If you liked it, leave a comment, leave video ideas, follow me on everything, subscribe. And yeah, it's Russ. I'll get at y'all.